Garden Grove has awarded an $800,000 settlement to a woman wrongfully arrested for DUI a decade ago. The woman was arrested by police in Garden Grove on suspicion of driving drunk, and she was actually having a stroke. LAUSD has launched its search for a new superintendent. Yesterday, the district released its qualifications, which include experience as a teacher or administrator, someone who's worked in diverse communities, and someone with experience managing a large organization. And a new study says decades of ivory poaching have led to the evolution of elephants without us. The study published in the journal Science says a previously rare genetic mutation that causes tuskless has become very common in some groups of African elephants. We're taking a look at the DKFI in the sky next.
When Billy and I windows over 20 years ago, we picked a company we thought would do a good job. We were disappointed.
So we saw a genuine need for a company with strong character, one that people could have faith in.
American Vision Windows was born right then and there.
With Special American Vision Windows are partners with their greatest investment is in their employees.
I couldn't ask for anything better.
I've been in the construction trade for 35 years. The level of quality of products that they use for their prep work was top notch.
Vision Windows continues to revolutionize the home improvement industry, one customer at a time, while changing the lives of our employees for the better. It's so simple.
Happy employees, happy customers.
For a limited time, we pay the cash. Plus zero payments until 2023. Call 888-226-9908. That's 888-226-9908. Or visit AmericanVisionWindows.com.
That's based on materials used on participating windows.
Wondering if you're paying auto insurance? It's easy to find out at AAA.com/insurance. You could save an average of $537.
Yes, the main time.
Start saving. Visit AAA.com/insurance for your free quote.
SoCal weather from KFI. It's mostly sunny today with highs mid-60s to the upper 70s. This report is brought to you by the Auto Club.
Also, it's weird, like he was.
Let's take a look at your rides at 5 to the 101.
So you're back to the
doors are working,
into the center of the valley. Long time away. That's what I can describe it for you. The distance is not too bad. Each 101 stops at Lausd. Stay that way. Stop and stop and stop. Up and over the hill. At Valley Circle, where only the white lane has been open since pre-dawn. It was worse. Actually, the whole freeway was shut down. So the alternative, Steam Railroad over to Calabasas Road, it got used up, and it's almost as bad as the freeway. It's just a long time to wait. What you do here is make the call, because it's definitely going to make you late. If you're in the West Valley, you can go on each 101 Valley Circle. That will help us not all into the open. But all the alternatives are also there. Everything is good to the 405, but then the 405, the 170, the 5, they're all slow going down towards the Ventura Freeway. So, morning. Injured in an accident, visit Superwoman, Superwoman.com, Jeff Bob, AFI in the sky.
This report is sponsored by Driveway.com. Customers are raving about how easy it is to buy or sell a car with Driveway.com. The best part, they deliver directly to your driveway. That's Driveway.com.
Today is your moment. The moment to perfect the delicate art of swaddling. The moment for bonding time, family time, and a little tummy time. The moment to remember that these are the moments that matter. If you're a new mother welcoming a baby into your family, paid family leave can provide you up to 8 weeks of partial weight replacement. This is your moment. Take it. To learn more, visit CaliforniaPaidFamilyLeave.com. Moments matter.
Hey, it's Jerry. Medicare annual enrollment is here, and it's time to keep your Medicare moving forward with SCAN Health Plan. SCAN is a comprehensive Medicare Advantage plan with new cost-saving benefits. Plans for 2022 may include $125 monthly give-back, lower out-of-pocket costs, more included dental coverage, and more. To learn more, call SCAN Health Plan at 1-855-479-7226, TTY 711, or ask your local agent about SCAN. Call SCAN to see if you qualify. SCAN Health Plan is an HMO plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in SCAN Health Plan depends on contract renewal. Don't hit a worldwide phenomenon. Mamma mia! 21st, Gambling Dance Monday. Infectious music from ABBA. Mamma mia! October 29th through November 21st. Tickets at AmaradaTheater.com.
I heard the Federal Reserve may raise interest rates.
Yes, in fact, mortgage rates have already started going up on the rumor.
That's why we just refinanced with owning. We got a 30-year fixed, 2.5% rate, 2.731 APR. And we also took thousands out in cash used for a bunch of other things. Owning made the whole process fast and easy. Wait up! Just wait! I'm going to call owning and lock in my refi now.
Call Owning at 8332-OWNING or go to owning.com and lock in a 30-year fixed refi at today's 2.5% rate, 2.731 APR. That's 8332-OWNING or owning.com.
NMLS 2611, licensed by the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation in the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act, subject to credit approval for qualified borrowers. Call 833-303-4161 for terms and conditions. Equal housing lender.
Call Owning at 8332-OWNING or log on to owning.com. That's 8332-OWNING or owning.com.
I'm Susan Owen, managing partner at OPO Law. I have been named one of the top 100 trial lawyers in the country. If you've been injured, call 888-OPO-WIN. That's 888-OPO-WINS for a free consultation. I am one of thousands of women with metastatic breast cancer or MBC, which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body. I am living in Lemoyne and taking Ibrance, palbociclib. Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for postmenopausal women or for men with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Be in your moment. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Adventurers wanted at La Mesa RV. Your search for a sleek, maneuverable adventure van is made easy at La Mesa RV. Our selection of top names like Winnebago, Pleasureway, Storyteller, and Jayco are in stock, ready to go. Get off the grid comfortably in a Mercedes, Ford, or Dodge-powered adventure van equipped with a range of amenities. Save thousands now and drive away in the adventure van you've been searching for. Your adventure van source is an easy drive to San Diego. La Mesa RV.
The government shouldn't be telling people what to do.
That can't hold in all cases.
We can't make that generic statement 100%. There should be no laws against killing people. We're stealing crap. We're doing that, aren't we? They're not regulating sex.
John and Ken, weekdays at 2
They are regulating gender-neutral toy ships.
on KFI.
KFI Am 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. It is the Bill Handel Show. Bill's out today at the University of Oxford. I hear it's pretty good. It's no DeVry Institute, but I understand it's not too bad over there at the University of Oxford. They have a department, an entire department, and it's called the Program on Democracy and Technology Computational Propaganda. They have a whole department that looks at online BS, basically. And there's a guy there, and his name is Marcel Schlied, and he has been covering and researching and making spreadsheets about a particular COVID-related phenomenon, and it is this. There are hundreds of Twitter accounts now that do nothing but push the following narrative about where COVID came from. First, a tiny bit of history. As you know, the conventional wisdom is that this COVID-19 originated in Wuhan, China. They're not 100% sure if it was from a wet market or possibly from a lab, but generally speaking, people agree it came from China. Now, you can imagine that China does not like this idea whatsoever, and oh boy, if China could find a fall guy to take the blame for where COVID came from, that would help them a lot. So, these hundreds of Twitter accounts keep pushing out this messaging. COVID-19 originated here in the United States. and then was sent to China. How was it sent to China? It was in Maine lobsters. Now, China imports, a lot of seafood from the United States, and Chinese people, like any good, decent people, enjoy a nice lobster. So at least it's true that Maine lobster definitely went from the United States to China. Was that Maine lobster the origin of COVID? I don't think so. But these Twitter accounts want you to think so. And you know what happens when something gains traction on social media, then it starts to spread, and the next thing you know, you go into the bathroom to urinate, and another guy comes in and goes, "Hey, how about that Maine lobsters giving COVID to the Chinese people?" And the guy at Oxford, of course, he's looking at the number of followers on these accounts, when they were created, what is their activity on Twitter, what is the timing of their activity, and it seems to be a coordinated effort. It's not hundreds of real people just coincidentally all deciding that COVID came on Maine lobsters to China and tweeting about it. So who's behind that? It's China. Disinformation. I mean, it's one of hundreds and hundreds of types of COVID disinformation, but it's an interesting one. And lobster and China and the United States have been an issue for some time. Remember when Donald Trump was president and he imposed all these tariffs, and then China imposed a bunch of tariffs on our Maine lobster coming over there, and the exports to China of Maine lobster dropped precipitously, and some experts are worried that China will put further sanctions on seafood from the United States, which will mess up that part of the economy. Also, that's what China did when, if you remember, there was a Chinese activist who won a Nobel Prize. And China didn't like that at all, because those activists, to them, are nothing but troublemakers. And so, after the Nobel Prize was given to this Chinese activist, China restricted the import of salmon from Norway to punish the Nobel Committee for giving that guy the prize. So seafood, right at the heart of a lot of international strife, and I don't happen to believe that the coronavirus started in Maine lobster. But do I know it for an absolute fact? I guess I don't. Get a news update from Jennifer Jones-Lee. And then, here's another thing with police reform. There'd be such a simple way to help with the problem of bad police officers, and people don't want to do it. I'll tell you what it is. It's a list. That's all it is a list. Kfi Am 640, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
I don't know what you're thinking, and I kind of like that. Keeps it fun.
KFI.
KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
They live to fight another game. I'm Jennifer Jones-Lee, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. The Dodgers beat the Braves 11-2 in Game 5 of the National League Championship Series. Let's get all the game details from KFI's Wayne Resnick.
Well, last night's Game 5 of the National League Championship Series was do or die for the Dodgers, and things did not start out good. Joe Kelly left his bullpen start in the first inning against Atlanta. He had biceps tightness, and by that time, he had already given the Braves a 2-0 lead. But then, in the second, the L.A. rally began with A.J. Pollock.
0-1. Here's a shot to left. Well hit, on its way, and Pollock has hit it out.
And that was a rally that did not fizzle. It kept going. Chris Taylor flipped the lead.
Three delivered. And that one is hammered to left. And it's on its way. And it is gone. A home run. Just like that, the Dodgers have a 3-2 lead.
So
Home run Pollock. Single Pujols. Two-run home run for Taylor.
Sorry, I forgot. And I made that cut. I should have known when it ended. But I'm excited because those two guys, Pollock and Taylor, went on to hit a bunch more home runs, and the Dodgers have saved their place in the NLCS, an 11-2 victory over the Braves. Game 6 tomorrow in Atlanta. I'm Wayne Resnick, KFI Sports.
This report is brought to you by Rooter Hero Plumbing. Actor Alec Baldwin has accidentally shot and killed one person and hurt another on the set of his new movie in New Mexico. Santa Fe County Sheriff spokesman Nria says investigators are trying to figure out exactly how it happened.
It looks like it was a prompt firearm that was discharged. The detectives are working to determine what type of projectile was discharged.
The director of photography was killed and the film's director's in the hospital. Production on the movie Rust has been stopped. An alleged sexual assault at a USC fraternity could be one of many.
The school says details of the alleged assault and claims that drugs had been put into drinks at the Sigma Nu fraternity have been turned over to the LAPD. School officials say drugs being put into drinks could have led to more assaults. The school has put the brakes on the fraternity hosting any activities or parties. It didn't say when the alleged assault under investigation happened. Blake Trolley, KFI News.
A teenager involved in a high-speed Lamborghini crash that killed a woman in West LA has been ordered to serve 79 months in a juvenile camp. Monique Munoz was killed when the Lamborghini being driven by a teen crashed into her car in February. Police say the data recorder from the car showed the teenager was driving at a high speed in a 35-mile-an-hour zone. The defense lawyer says she's worried the teen will be targeted because of the high-profile case and should be put in a private program. 2 anti-drilling resolutions passed by cities in OC are being used as leverage for a permanent ban on offshore drilling.
The resolution in Huntington Beach opposes any new drilling, while the resolution in Laguna Beach calls for a ban on any new or existing drilling. Surfrider Foundation's Bill Hickman says the oil spill from earlier this month was a wake-up call. I think we were really lucky and dodged the bullet to some extent with this oil spill. While it was really bad, it could have been much, much worse. He says while the resolutions passed this week are not legally binding, they represent a chance for the community to put pressure on federal leaders to finally put an end to offshore drilling. In Huntington Beach, Corbin Carson, KFI News.
More than 100 birds have been hurt by the oil spill off the coast of OC. 76 of them were found dead. Wetlands and Wildlife Care Center executive Debbie McGuire says the live birds were triaged before being sent to another center.
They assess their body condition, make sure there's not any other secondary problems going on, and then we started stabilizing them. They usually clear out the oil out of their mouth and nares and eyes, so they can breathe.
McGuire says there have also been 5 dead mammals recovered, including 2 sea lions and a dolphin. Storms have moved into central and northern California, bringing some much-needed rain to areas affected by the drought. The National Weather Service says some low pressure off the coast of the Pacific Northwest is pushing what's called an atmospheric river of heavy rain into the area. Started last night and is expected to continue over the weekend. Forecasters fear, though, it could cause flooding in areas burned by wildfires. The CDC has joined the FDA in approving Moderna and Johnson & Johnson's COVID-19 vaccine booster shots. The decision authorizes Moderna shots for elderly and high-risk adults and the Johnson & Johnson shots for people 18 and older. The CDC also says people can choose from any of the 3 FDA-approved vaccine brands for their boosters. And as Wayne and I were talking about, Robert Durst has now been charged in New York in connection with the death of his former wife, Kathy Durst, who disappeared in 1982. A state police investigator filed a criminal complaint Tuesday accusing Durst of second-degree murder. Durst was sentenced last week in L.A. to life in prison without parole for murdering his friend Susan Berman in 2000. We're looking at a crash on the 101.
It's been with us all morning long, and that is still the case for your drive heading southbound as you come upon Mulholland. It's the 3 left lanes that are open. The right lane, rather the 3 left lanes that are shut down. The right lane is the only lane open. So again, southbound 101 at Mulholland, 3 left lanes still shut down. Right lane is open, and that's going to be packed and tight for you coming southbound along the 101 from well before Lausd. So definitely give yourself extra time getting out the door this morning as Calabasas Road or Moreo, which are the surface street or frontage streets to the 101, they're packed and tight as well. Also not looking all that great along Ventura Boulevard as an alternate. Northbound side of the 101, it's going to be rough for your ride pretty much out of the Valley Village and Studio City area, Sherman Village adjacent. Northbound side of the 101, you'll see delays from as far back as Rolls Canyon as you make your way all the way out for the Calabasas area. Got an update on this or anything else slowing you down? Pound 250 on the cell phone. Keyword KFI traffic. KFI in the sky helps you get to there faster. I'm Nick Poliocini.
Looking for a good investment? Want to reduce uncertainty, financial risk, and hedge inflation? Here are 8 reasons to consider NRIA's Prime Real Estate Development Fund. Steady monthly cash flow payouts with double-digit targeted returns. Solid, affordable, high-demand home and apartment assets back you. New construction built where housing is badly needed and demand booming. Substantial properties already built and selling right now supporting you. short and long-term strategies with steady cash flow and appreciation anticipated. An industry leader with a 15-year track record of 3 million square feet built and a pipeline of $1.7 billion of new property in progress. Hedge against inflation and receive steady cash flow. Start your due diligence at nria.net or call 800-800-1414. That's 800-800-1414.
An offer of securities is only made by the NRIA Private Placement Memorandum. Read it first. Past performance does not guarantee future results. NRIA is a real estate development firm. Learn more at nria.net.
For COVID testing that is convenient and fast, choose COVID Clinic. COVID Clinic has multiple locations in SoCal to serve you, and they offer rapid tests with results available within 1 hour that can detect the Delta variant. No cost to patient testing also available. Even if you've been vaccinated, you can still contract COVID. It's important to get tested to protect yourself and your friends during the holidays and winter months. Visit covidclinic.org to book your test now. That's covidclinic.org.
Your KFI Financial Report is brought to you by Bay Alarm. The Dow is up 104, S&P up 1, NASDAQ down 66, and the average price of a gallon of unleaded gas in California is $4.54.
Bay Alarm will keep your commercial fire system in compliance so you're up to code, not up all night.
SoCal weather from KFI, partly cloudy today. Highs lift from the mid-60s to right around 70 for the beaches and Metro LA and Orange County, then just to the mid to upper 70s for the valleys and the Inland Empire. Right now it's 56 in Laguna Beach, 55 in Orange, 46 in Santa Clarita, and 52 in Glendora. We lead local, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Jennifer Jones-Lee.
Bill Handel Show. Bill's off today. Wayne Resnick's filling in. And I'll give you a little heads up. In about 15-ish minutes, you'll have a chance to win $1,000 here on KFI. Also, I'm doing this next segment under significant pressure, which is to say the pressure from my bladder, because I definitely mistimed my bathroom opportunities. And there's a little more in there than I would prefer at this time, but I'm going to soldier on for you. Let's talk about something they call Brady lists. Brady lists are lists that prosecutors keep of police officers whose credibility has been tarnished. Generally due to previous episodes of that officer lying in court, lying on a search warrant affidavit, or something like that, which would speak directly to whether you might believe them, but also sometimes for other reasons like excessive force complaints, which may not necessarily have anything to do with the believability of the officer. And the reason that it seems a little bit loosey-goosey there in terms of, well, how do you end up on this list, is because there are no rules, there are no guidelines, there are no standards. Let's talk about a particularly bad fellow. And I bring this gentleman to your attention as the contrast to the fact, and it remains the fact. And I know that it feels sometimes like police officers are getting worse somehow. That is a function of more reporting of things, so it feels like there's more of these incidents. The fact is that virtually every police officer, minus a very small percentage, goes through their whole career without perpetrating any of these terrible things. But there are some who do, and that is for sure, and this guy's one of them. His name is Jeff Nelson, and he's a police officer. Here are some things that happened with Officer Jeff Nelson. One thing that happened is some guy is crossing the street in front of Officer Nelson's car, and suddenly Officer Nelson swerves his car and pins the guy against a fence. He broke both of the guy's ankles. Why did he do it? What was the guy doing? Nothing. Why did he do it? He said, "Oh, I know that guy, and he's a dangerous criminal." Also, he was trying to arrest somebody in 2019, punched the guy 7 times, and then shot him in the torso. The guy falls to the ground, having been shot in the torso, and Officer Nelson shoots him again in the head. Kills him. Now, Officer Nelson said when he fired that second shot into the guy's head, that this guy was starting to get up and ready to spring forward again. However, witnesses said that was BS, and police video said it was BS, and surveillance video said it was BS. And then you have a guy who was behaving kind of erratically, having some kind of mental health crisis. Here comes Officer Nelson, orders his police dog to attack the guy. Shoots this guy in the torso. Sound familiar? This guy falls. Shoots him in the head. Sound familiar? He said, oh, my life was in danger because the guy was high and he had a knife. And the city had to settle for $1.25 the guy's family. So here's a guy with a pattern of some fairly egregious stuff. But prosecutors never put them on their Brady list. They call it potential impeachment disclosure list. And it comes from that case of Brady that says prosecutors have to give the defense any exculpatory evidence. If they have evidence that would help the defense, they have to turn it over. And so one of the things that some prosecutors will do is, when they get credible information that an officer is no longer reliable and will be easily impeachable on the stand, they put him on a list. Sometimes they call it a do not call list. And they won't, if a case comes in with that officer, they won't file the case. Because they don't want to get into putting a guy on the stand when they know the defense will immediately be able to bring up all of this terrible stuff about the officer. The problem with this is there's no rules or regulations. There's no standardized approach to why you put an officer on this list or whether you even keep a list. There's a lot of big cities whose their DAs don't even keep a list like this. Other cities have a list. LA is one of these cities. They have a list and it's very robust because there are people on there, there's cops on there who have lied, but there's also cops on there who have had excessive force complaints, and that may not be the right reason to exclude a police officer from participating in cases anymore. So the point is there needs to be some standardization. Because it's the same purpose wherever you are. If you're in Philadelphia or you're in Los Angeles or you're in the middle of Alabama, it's the same purpose. It's to help prosecutors decide how to properly present a case and not waste their time. So there's no reason to have the approach be all over the place, but it is. And it's both ways. Because notice, I'm not saying we need to put more officers on this list. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying there should be standards so that the only officers on this list are officers who should be on this list. You might be in one jurisdiction where it's very pro-cop and there are officers who should be on this list and they're not. And gosh, LA, especially with this DA, I wonder how many officers are being put on that list and they do not deserve it. And it's flat out unfair. All right, here's what I would like to do, and since I'm hosting the show, it's what's going to happen.